Recording. First of all, good afternoon, good evening to everybody that joined us today. The subject of our Zoom today is sales. I am belong to the group of people that think that sales is a basic technique or basic skill that everybody should know and practice, at least on the basic level, no matter what you do, even if you're a doctor or a scientist or whatever it is, because the set of skill that you gain when you learn basic sales is a set of skill that can help you get everything that, not everything, but almost everything that you want. It's the same set of skills. How do I present things? How do I look at it? How do I prepare for it? If it's a raise, you want to convince your kids to do something or whatever it is, it's the same set of skills. So the word or the definition sales is like we're thinking about to buy something, but it's actually more like getting something or a result that we want, and no matter what the field is. I'm going to mute whoever is not muted. And if you guys want to say something, feel free to unmute yourself and talk. It's a conversation, but we're not going to have a background noise. Give me just a second. I'm going to pull up the presentation and we're going to start. Here we go. And please feel free at any point to stop me and ask questions. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you guys have. Here we go. Oh, still went to that one. Okay. Here we go. Everybody see the presentation? Everybody see the presentation. Great. So the way that I build the presentation and the way that I think about sales is actually a little bit wider than just go to sales directly. And I used to train my team when I had my office back in Brooklyn in the days. I used to train my team. And the first thing that we discussed going to sales was, before we even start sales, we need to ask ourselves a question, and I'm going to ask you guys to tell me, whoever bothered to stop 1 second to discuss it with himself, who do I need to be for people to buy or to do business with me? Before I even start, let's look at myself. This is where it starts, me. So I'm going to ask you to throw some stuff to the air now, if you didn't do it before. Who do I need to be for people to want to buy stuff from me, or to want to do business with me, or do what I ask them to do? What type of a person do I need to be? Come on, throw some stuff to the air.
Credible.
Be honest. Be honest.
Honest. Okay, fair enough.
Credible.
Sorry?
Credible.
Absolutely right. What else?
Good communication.
Good communicator. I agree.
I need to answer the needs of the person in front of me.
I agree with you, but that's more a skill. I'm talking about on a personal level. Who do I have to be?
Myself.
Who is yourself? What is yourself that you need to be? Can I be a crook? What if I'm a crook? Is that something to be myself? If I want to sell or do business with somebody?
Of course not.
Of course not. So it's not who do I need to be for people to want to do business with me?
Accountable. Reliable.
Accountable, reliable. How about funny?
Helps.
That helps, right? So there is a couple of other things that, so one of the things that I told my team all the time is like, stop for a second and think, when you present yourself to people to do business with them or to buy something on an idea, who do I need to be on a personal level for them to feel comfortable and say, you know what, this is a guy I want to do business with it. And this is a basic list. This is not the only things. So you can add to it. But then I give you an idea of a couple of things, the basic stuff that we came up with. Okay? I need to be pleasant and friendly. Nobody wants to do business with rude people. I need to be reliable. Somebody said that. Do I need to be a professional, experienced? That's good. It helps. Entertaining. I don't need to be funny like a clown, but people need to enjoy my company. And if I can keep it light and nice, that always helps, right? I need to be available. This is something that people don't think about it, but I need to be, if somebody wants to buy now, I better be ready. I can tell you multiple, one of them from today, by the way, deals that I lost because lack of availability. I didn't answer a phone. I wasn't available. I said I'm gonna delay it from, I had a tenant for a house that I'm trying to rent for a long time. I had a discussion with the agent on Friday. She didn't call the client on Friday. She called them today. They already found a house during the weekend. We lost a great tenant because of that. Available. I need to be familiar. We'll discuss that. It's easier for people to do business with people that they know. And I need to be unforgettable. What does it mean to be unforgettable? But if I talk to you today and you want to do a business a month from now, I'm going to be the one that pop in your mind. Oh, remember this guy we talked to about a month ago? This is a guy. So that's going to give you a better chance doing business. So this is a basic list. And again, this is not the only thing. Of course, you can add things to yourself. In Hebrew, we call it avayot. Who do I need to be on a personal level? This is not a set of skill. It's a personality traits. So one of the things, for example, when I used to work as an agent, a rental agent, one of the things is that I had jokes ready. So if I met clients, I used to use the same type of jokes or the same joke all the time. Now I don't need new jokes because different clients, they don't know that I told this joke 100 times before. So you can prepare yourself a set of jokes or whatever it is, of course, appropriate jokes. You don't want to sound rude or too, I don't know, whatever it is, but set of, just to make things light and be. So this is the avayot. This is the first thing. And every time that you guys are going to do business or do a sales call or whatever it is, it's a good idea to stop for a second, take a look at this list. So for me, for example, in my office, each agent, I add this printed in front of them in the office. So every time, all the time, they look at it. When they're talking to clients, they used to look at it while talking to clients. So they can remind, who do I need to be for this client to do business with me? Because if you talk, oh yeah, and then over time, you don't think about it anymore. So you want to put it in front of you. This is a recommendation, of course. Okay, so before we even start discussing this, keep in mind, when you want to sell something, you need to be some type of personality to match it, okay? And the next thing that we want to discuss is when you do sales, what do I need to do in order to sell something? I need what? Two things. If I want to sell something, I need two things.
Product,
A product and
a buyer.
a buyer. Okay. So what is the purpose of marketing? So we can talk about sales without talking just a little bit about marketing. What is the purpose of marketing?
Marketing,
Exposure,
get your
Right.
brand out.
get the brand, and traffic. I expose what I want to do, and I get traffic. People are interested and they approach me. That is the purpose of marketing, right? Marketing is not sales. What is the purpose of marketing? People call me. This is all I'm trying to get. I'm trying to get them to call me. I'm not trying to sell them anything. I'm trying to get them to call me. Then I'm going to go to sales. one of the a basic mistake, and whoever was a real estate agent or worked in an office agent, you see it a lot with agents. They try to sell or convince somebody to take something over the phone. When I post a listing, what is the purpose of the listing? Listing is marketing, is not sell. What is the purpose of a listing?
Exposure.
What is the purpose? It's exposure, I agree with you, but what is the purpose? What I'm trying to get? I don't hear you, Jamie.
Interest.
You're muted.
Yeah, interest. People are gonna sell, I like it. It looks good. Let me give a
No.
call.
Give me a call. That is the
Yeah.
purpose of marketing. So when I write down a listing or marketing on Zillow or whatever it is, whatever your field is, what I need to think is what is the purpose is to get them to call. So, for example, people say, "Oh, but it's a two-family house with small rooms." Is that going to help people call me? Is that the point to write down this is small rooms? Write down 3 rooms. After that, we can discuss it. The purpose is to get the traffic, to get them to call me. After that, I'm going to match them and I'm going to sell them property that matches what they are looking for, but the purpose. So I can tell you, for example, when I was a rental agent many years ago, I used to take the list of available apartments, and the one that I used to post weren't the one that I thought that going to be the easiest to rent, but the one that was the one that I knew gonna get me the most calls. I didn't care if I can rent the apartment that I posted. All I cared is the people gonna call me back. When they're gonna call me back, I'm gonna go into my sales. What do you need? And then I'm gonna match them with a solution. We'll discuss that in just a second. So when you guys are like, okay, what do I post? You post things that are gonna bring you phone calls. What you're gonna do with the phone calls, that's a different story. Are we on the same page?
Mhm.
We're on the same page. Great. So when we are talking about marketing, the first question that when do we start market something? And second, why do we even bother to do it? And the answer to the first question is the most Israeli answer ever. When do we want something?
Now,
No, that's not Israeli enough.
yesterday.
Yesterday. You see? Now you're Israeli. This is the most Israeli. When do you want it? Yesterday. Everything should have already started. So marketing, and I know some of you probably saw all the people that making phone call video now because of Nitai. I always market and I start as soon as possible, even before I have whatever I want. So I'm going to have this traffic all the time, and then I'm going to match it. So I'm starting to market either myself or a product as soon as I can. And what I'm trying to create is a visual familiarity with the product and with myself. I want myself. This is the importance, by the way, of videos over posts. I want people to see my face. So they have a visual familiarity. They know who I am. People see my face. I can tell you that I'm not that famous, but I already been stopped a few times in New York, in the airport, like, oh, Yutal. Why? Because I see the videos on Facebook, not because anything else. And I want to have a business familiarity. So they know who I am, but they also know what do I do. So they can match my face into my business. Real estate is style. Okay?
Mhm.
It matches. And I'm going to try to establish a reputation or a rapport. Anybody know what a rapport is in English? Rapport is an English terms, and I'm going to, Jim, I apologize, I'm going to switch 1 second to Hebrew because there is no word for it in Hebrew. rapport זה מושג שמשלב היכרות עם מקצועיות, עם אמון הדדי. איזשהו קומבינציה של יחסים כזאת, אתה אומר, איתו זה הבן אדם. אוקיי? זה נקרא באנגלית rapport. So I want to establish rapport, I want to establish a reputation. So if I'm posting a professional,
ברשותך אני אדייק את הנושא של הרפור, זה כשאתה נמצא באינטראקציה לצורך העניין כמוכר או כמתווך מול קונה או מוכר, לחכות את ההתנהגות שלך לאותה התנהגות של הבן אדם שמולך.
you're confusing what it is and how do I get it. That's two different things.
Yeah, okay.
You're confusing what it is with how do I get rapport. I'm not discussing how do I get rapport right now, just the fact that I want to get it. Okay? Okay. But you're right. So I want to establish rapport. So I want, when I post something over time, I want them to say, Tal is real estate. This is Tal. He's doing real estate and he's know what he's talking about. Okay? This is Tal. He's doing real estate and he's know what he's talking about. Now I have rapport with them. When I'm going to meet them, say, oh, I save myself a lot of time. I can tell you today that a lot of my presentation today to new investors that like to join us, I can skip all the introduction part, even if I never spoke with them. Why? Because they came because they know who I am. They watch me on Facebook, they went to my YouTube, whatever it is. When I come to that, do I need to? No, we know who you are. Talk to me about the deal. I save myself. I already established rapport. It takes time. This is why it's important to start yesterday. It takes time for people to understand and get familiar with your face and understand that you know what you're talking about. So it's important to do this work on a regular basis. And of course, we're going back to volume. Volume. I want to have a lot of people, not just one see me. So if I put one post, 30 people see it. But if I put 1,000 posts, 30 each time, I'm going to get to 1,000, 2,000, or whatever it is, people that now familiar with me or with my product. It's the same thing, by the way, for a product. In this case, I'm the product. They are familiar, and when it's going to become available to them, they will be more than happy to go and buy it or use it or whatever it is. Okay?
Mhm.
Questions until here? And of course, we can go back to Ted Turner. Ted Turner started CNN, and he said, early to bed, early to rise, work like hell and advertise. Marketing all the time. This is something that I'm telling everybody that does either I train or whatever it is. Marketing. I had a conversation today. I know that you guys see some of the videos that Nitai encouraged some of the people to put now, and they're putting Nitai, the challenge. I'm sure you guys saw it. So some of them is people that I had this discussion with them a year ago. They lost a year over this. Advertise all the time. You find something to put. You advertise what you do. You advertise your knowledge. You advertise yourself. This is how you do business. Marketing is a habit for life. Okay? I personally believe there is no such too much marketing. Of course, it's need to be to make sense, so you don't just burn yourself. But if you have something good to say or you did something good, put it out there on a regular basis. So exposure is important. Everybody know Coca-Cola, they still bother to advertise. You want it in front of you all the time. Okay? So we do it all the time. We try to advertise in multiple medias because some people use Facebook, some people prefer Instagram, some people Twitter or whatever it is. So you want to do it. Obviously, social media made a difference. It made marketing easy and cheap, and something that everybody can use. So I recommend, even if you are not, I don't like social media, it's work. It's like a medicine. You don't take medicine because you like it. You take medicine because you need it. It's the same here. You don't need to like Facebook to understand that it's a great tool to work with. So it doesn't matter your personal preference to social media, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you need to do it. Okay? when I try to post something, when I think about the post or I'm thinking about what we do, we want to try to think in the order of why do I do what I do? How do I do it? And what do I do? Okay, I'll give you an example. It's called, by the way, the golden circle. It's a well-known method. Probably the most famous company that uses this method is Apple. And you start with, why do I do it? How do I do it? And what do I do? So for example, I do real estate, okay? I do it to get rich, okay? That's my reason, or financial freedom, that's my why. How do I do it? I invest in real estate. What do? I buy single family homes. Okay, so when you guys working on your marketing, you always need to think in that order, and you present yourself in that order. Why do I do it? How do I do it? And what do I do? Why, how, what? It's called the golden circle. If somebody wants, there is online, you can Google and go and just on that specific topic, golden circle. It's a very famous and probably most successful marketing strategy that there is. Why, how, and what. Okay? Again, I'm trying to keep the marketing portion of it short relatively, okay? I want to keep it simple. It can be too complicated, okay? It can be too complicated. People are going to lose interest. Especially today when we have like a 10 or 20 seconds patient, you can make it things too complicated, and you want it to be sexy. I'm not sexy in a sex type of thing, but sexy as interesting and funny and easy on the eye and different. Okay, so everything that we try to do, it can be boring. And I'm going to give you some examples, okay? So this is a commercial for a diet company or a diet to do diet. Now, don't ask me how she lost her tan during this diet. That's a different story. But you can advertise diet like this, or you can advertise diet like this. Which one look more interesting? Something that make you more want to cooperate, even if you don't need to do diet. The one on the left or the one on the right?
The left one.
It's probably in your left. This one, right? With the lady standing here. Imagine. Okay? This is an advertisement for Burger King for a few years back. I personally don't like it, even the fact that I understand, because I think it's a little bit too, how you call it, Jim? Suggestive?
Little too suggestive and provocative.
Yeah, a little bit too. But this is an advertisement for sandwiches as well, which I find a little bit more appealing to me. Make me more want to eat a sandwich than the Burger King sandwich. You guys agree?
The Burger King is lowest common denominator marketing.
Yeah. This is a commercial or advertisement for ETV. It's like an electrical golf type of thing. And what you can see is that there is a lot of details, a lot of writing on it, and you don't really understand what it is. Don't ask me what the name of the company, but this is advertising for another company that does pretty much the same. And it looked like this. Which one look cooler? Doesn't need to say anything. You look at it, it's like, oh, I want one of those. And of course, we have the Liquid Death commercial. Here we go. Jim knows what I'm talking about. Okay. When you see, and for a reason I deleted, when you hear the word Liquid Death, what do you think about? what type of a liquid do you think about?
I think it's gonna be
Poison.
alcohol.
What?
Alcohol.
Look like a alcohol, right?
Mhm.
Liquid death. Come on. Neta, liquid death. What do we think about?
אני לא הבן אדם לשאול.
Whatever come your head, liquid
משהו
death.
שמפוצץ לך את הראש, אני יודעת.
Poison.
Poison. Liquid death, if you guys I can ask, I can tell you the story, is a brand of mineral water.
וואלה.
So they came up and said, how do we make ourselves different? How we make ourselves interesting? It actually started as half a joke a few years back. And they came up with a very special design, as you can see. And they came up with an amazing advertisement campaign. We'll see one of their videos in just a second. And they're worth now $1.4 billion in like less than 10 years. And that pretty much brings everything. You can't forget it. It's entertaining. It's simple, all of it, and still worth $1.4 million. It doesn't gonna let me do the link. So if you give me 1 second, I would like to put one of their advertisements because I think it's so amazing. It's worth looking at. We're gonna pull one of their advertisements and we're gonna watch it together. I think this is a marketing brilliance. There is no.
אז הם מוכרים מים מינרליים?
Yeah, that's water. That is just water. And the reason that they call it liquid death was, they said, you'll see in just a second.
Every music festival you go to, especially the rock festivals, they sell wildfire.
I knew that you're gonna know because I see all that you come from there. I knew that you're gonna know what it is. I had no doubt in my mind that you're gonna know what it is. You guys see the YouTube?
Yes.
Okay, hopefully it's gonna run good.
Hi, I'm a professional actor, and I'm getting paid to tell you about a revolutionary new product. For years, a bunch of marketing fuckboys have tricked you into thinking that water is just some girly drink for yoga moms. Just look at all the cute brand names and dainty little bottles. Well, hold on to your hot dogs, because I got news. Water isn't cute. Water is dead. It kills innocent surfers and snowboarders and kayakers. Every year, water is responsible for thousands and thousands of deaths. Energy drinks only kill like, what, 1 or 2 kids? So please, don't fall for the marketing bullshit. Water is not yoga. Water is liquid death. And that's why this brand needs to exist. To finally give water the ice cold can and ice cold name it deserves. A brand that parents will hate, but kids might love. Made from the deadliest stuff on earth. Please, enjoy responsibly.
So you can go and to YouTube. Let me stop it. In my background, it's still running.
Pure sugar.
So of course, you are more than welcome to go to YouTube and see the other commercial that they have. Interesting to the same level as this one. But that pretty much give us everything that we discussed. Interesting, simple, interesting. You're never gonna forget liquid death anymore. And for a good reason, it matches the market. As Jim said, this brand started as drinks for rock bands and shows. So it tried to, the market for it was young people. And you're gonna go back to the commercial and you see that probably if you are older, you're not gonna be connect to it too much. But if you are young and you are in like 16, 17, 20, and you are you like hard metal or whatever it is, that's exactly what you needed in your life. And if you're watching now comedians and stuff like that, you'll see that many of them actually using this. So the idea is that if you are on stage or whatever it is, and you want to look cool and don't look like you're drinking alcohol, look like you're drinking alcohol, but not actually, you'll see that all of them are drinking liquid death because they can look like a beer while it's only water.
And the cans are recyclable. And
Yeah, I'm saying it's all the points that they needed for young that this is what they care about, this is what they're interested in, and
Now, this is a little maybe kind of tangent on that, but that is a very niche marketing. Are you going to talk about, marketing as a niche versus
I think to my personal opinion, and again, not necessarily need to agree, even the fact that it's not a niche marketing, it's a niche product.
right?
The idea of the marketing that they did is the same that if you're going to sell the most common product. They did an interesting commercial, right? You see it all the time. It matches your clients. If I'm selling milk, I'm gonna the basics of marketing will be the same. It's just gonna look a little bit different because the product is different. So it's a niche product, not a niche marketing. Did I make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Okay.
need to make commercial like this, but I do need in any case to match the marketing to my clients or my market share. Okay, so if
Your
my market share
targets.
will be middle-aged moms, it's probably going to look a little bit different, but it's still the idea of I'm matching it to my market.
Mhm.
Going to be the same idea.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I'll show you in just a second a few more examples, and you'll see that it's true to all of them. So I'm going to show you a different. Okay. So that was the idea about marketing, and I want to go back and I told you I want to skip this a little bit to do this part a little bit quick and go to sales. And here now I did my marketing. People called me, they want to buy my product or they want to look about my product, and we are moving now into the second step of my work, and it's going to be the sales or the pitch. And here we have our rules, okay? And there is 3 basic rules to sales. Ideas. What are the 3 steps?
Identify the needs of your client.
Need and what and do what? I identify the need. What happened next? This is half an answer.
Yeah, you need to feed those needs.
So solution. Need plus a solution equal a sell. So I need to identify the need. I need to offer a solution. Okay, here we go. What's going to be rule number 2? Shira. Sorry, guys, I'm going to ask my wife to turn on the AC because I'm cooking here. What's going to be rule number 2?
You need to close it, I guess.
No, that's not sales. Closing is closing. We'll discuss closing in a second.
Right.
What is going to be rule number 2? You guys, all of you know it. When I'm going to say it, you say, you're right. We're talking about now sales. Need a solution equal a sell.
Agreement?
No.
No.
I need to put the product in the hands of the client. Okay? And what's going to be the third one?
Follow up?
I need to pack everything nicely. Okay? Now that we discussed the 3 rules, we're going to go and we're going to look at it and you say, oh, Tal, you're absolutely right. Because you know all of this. You just don't know that you know it. Okay? So let's discuss rule number 1 for a second.
Is that all scanning?
Sorry?
Sorry.
I need a solution equal a sale. So first of all, I need to understand the need of the buyer. It's not my need. It's whose need? The buyer's need, right? I need to identify the buyer's need. How do I do that? How do I identify what the buyer needs?
You ask?
I ask, and then what I do?
Ask more. You need to really help him understand his needs as well.
I agree with
Ask and
you.
listen.
But between them, there is one more thing that I need to do. I ask and I ask again, but between them, there is one more thing that I need to do.
Acknowledge it. Say that, you know, those needs are right. No.
Exactly the opposite. How do I learn what is a need? 1, I'll ask a question. What's going to be the second one? Jim, come on, you should know that.
Listen.
I keep quiet and I listen. This is probably the hardest part for salespeople. To close the mouth. Because we learned that good salespeople are very good talkers, right? Everybody heard that. He's a good talker. Actually, what I need to do is close my mouth and shut up. And then I'm going to go back to what you said, Neta, and I'm going to ask clarifying questions. So I'll try to get a little bit more detail about their need. Not my need, their need. Okay?
Keep it in a file.
Okay? And then I'm going to offer a solution that the solution is good for the buyer. It's not a solution that's good for me. It's a solution that's good for the buyer. What if I don't have a solution for him? What if I don't have a solution that is good for him? I have a solution, but it's not necessarily the best solution for him.
Still offer it. I mean, he's going to be ultimately the one deciding if it suits him or not.
I can offer it, but can say, listen, again, it's a recommendation. Say, listen, might not be the perfect solution, but it is a solution. Okay?
Mhm.
I'm not going to try to present it as the best solution if I don't think that it is. Or I'm going to say what?
Refer.
Ask him what they think.
I'm saying,
What
I agree with you. I can offer it and say, listen, but what is that option number 2? To say I don't have a solution for you. People gonna like if you'll tell them no. They're gonna come to you next time. Why? Because they say,
You're
oh,
honest.
so even the fact that time he doesn't have a thing for me, if he really didn't, at least he was honest with me. I'm not a big guy on sending my clients to the competition. I think it's a big mistake. So it's better for you to go to the competition, buy something and offer it to them than sending there. But if you're not into that, at least come out as an honest person and say, listen, be honest with you, I don't think I have a solution for you. I had multiple times that I sat down in people's house that wanted to sell me the house. I said, listen, I'm not your buyer. I'm not your guy. I got a referral, I got that, but I could say, listen, to be honest with you, I'm not your guy. Okay, it's a legitimate answer that usually pays up in the long term. And if you're looking at long term, sometimes it's worth it. You need to be very calculated when you do that. Again, I'm not big on sending my clients to the competition. I think it's a big mistake as a basic thing, but sometimes that is the right solution. Okay? Rule number 2, put the product in the end of the client. This is very, very important, and all of us know this. Give me an example. Somebody.
Hand them the
Test
keys.
driving.
Test driving. Okay. What else?
Hand them the keys.
What?
Hand them the keys. Put them in a place.
Okay. But
Form
something
around.
that is familiar to
Showing,
people.
home showing.
What?
Show them the home showing.
Open houses, I agree with you. Something more common, especially for the ladies.
Try the perfume.
I went very close. But I agree with you. When you go to there, you sit down and they painting and all of that, and they putting lipstick and whatever it is, that's exactly what it is. When we go to supermarket, what do they let us try?
Samples.
Samples. Why?
Get you to buy.
Yeah. Okay. It creates connection between the client and the product. So for us in real estate, we have open houses. What else do we have in real estate? Staging. That's part of it. They can imagine themselves already in the house or how the house can look like. 3D tours. Today it's a new, no, it's not new anymore, but it's a new tool to somehow put the product if the client is not really available to come. I on a personal level still prefer to take people to the house, but 3D tours is another option. Who is here is not in real estate on a daily basis? Ophir, I know that you are not in real estate. Anybody else in different field? Neta, what do you do for a living?
I'm also not 100%.
Okay. Somebody give me an example from a different field. When you do presentation, how you put the product in the end of the client.
Well, I can tell you from a coffee standpoint,
Coffee standpoint, great.
yeah. So if you want to offer if we want to offer our coffee, we take a grinder to the coffee shop. We grind it, we make the coffee for them, we make them taste it.
Okay, so tasting, right?
Mhm.
So you are
Yep.
familiar with that. That is a clear sales tactics, well-known sales tactics that need to be used by everybody. You want something, you need to let the client use it. You need to let the client experience it. It's going to create a sense of ownership. If you add it in the end, create sense of ownership, more likely going to end up buying it.
Mhm.
Okay. And rule number 3, pack everything nicely. Okay, yourself included. The guru of this was probably Steve Jobs, and whoever ever bought an iPhone know the experience of often open an iPhone box, right?
Mhm.
iPhone box is an experience. If anybody ever read or learn about how Apple do business, the packaging is part of the product. And probably one of the more important, because that is the first time the client experience the product. It's super important. They made it, of course, as a major thing in the design, but I'm going to give you a couple of other examples here, and you'll see, ooh, that makes a difference. Okay, you ready?
Nice.
So this is a bag from a supermarket company. As you can see, it's designed as a tummy, and you can see what there is, and you can imagine it that you ate it and it looks good and delicious. And it's just a bag, but it makes you want to buy there. This is 2 examples. One is for a baguette company, that try to make it something a little bit different. And the second one is a spaghetti company from New York City that the design of the box is like the Empire State Building, which is unique. You won't forget it. That's the point of all of it. It's fun and the product is just spaghetti, but now it's different because of the packaging, not because of the product. And of course, one of my favorite, when I say yourself included, everybody know who this guy is? Anybody know who this guy is?
Oh, that's
Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen, yeah.
Yeah, this is Seth Rogen. He's an actor. He's a Jewish actor, right?
Right.
This is also Seth Rogen. Now, if you want to do business with Seth Rogen, which Seth Rogen you want to do business with? If you want to buy a house from Seth Rogen. So when we're talking about packaging, especially when I am the product, how do I dress and how do I look to people? That's a big part of what I do. Okay? You show up to a meeting. You saw How I Met Your Mother? Suit up. Suit is a very important thing. I like suits. Suit up. This is how you look. You look the part. In English, it's called you look the part. Okay, this is the same guy, look a little bit different, right? So when you are Israeli, you most likely look like this. Seth Rogen with a baseball hat. And when you want to do business in America, you probably look like the American Seth Rogen. And some technical stuff. Okay, and Gil, you talk about how do I build rapport. So other than the talking of talking about business and all the stuff that I need, there is other thing to talk and build rapport. As we just discussed, I need to dress appropriately. It's going to be very hard for me to say that I'm a very successful businessman looking like a homeless. Can we agree on that?
Yeah.
Okay. Put away the sunglasses and the phone. Very basic mistake. I see it all the time. People do it all the time when they're talking to me. And this is a trick that I learned. And I think the difference that it makes, I'll teach you a trick in just a second. The difference that it makes is so huge because it's such a stupid move, but it's so huge, you can't imagine. So let's say I show up to a meeting or I sit in my office, but let's say I show up in the meeting outside and I have my sunglasses on and all of us shows up with our phone in our hand, right? We're holding a phone in our hand. You take a second when you approach your client, you take the sunglasses off and you shake their hand. Okay? You can put it back after, especially if you stay outside. But at the time that you meet them, the first time, you take the sunglasses off, let them see your eyes, and you shake your hand. And the next thing that you're going to do, you're going to say, 1 second, please. Let me put my phone on quiet so nobody going to bother us. And you quiet it down and you put it away. Not in your pocket, you put it away. If you're in your office, don't do it before they come. Do it while they're there. Say, 1 second, guys, let me put it away. You put it on quiet, you open a drawer and you put it in a drawer and you close the drawer. People are gonna love you for this. You just told them, nothing is more important for me now than you, without saying it. Because today, everybody, I'm sure all of you been to a meeting while you're talking, the guy took a phone or the girl took a phone and looked if they had a phone call or the other message. Happens to everybody. It happened to me. Well, while I'm talking, somebody looking on the phone. And I used to do it myself until I stole this trick for somebody, And it's like, oh, this is a great way to do it. And since then, if I sit in a meeting with somebody, I say, 1 second, guys, and I do it on purpose in front of them, and I put it in my bag or I put it in a drawer, and now I told them without saying it, you are the most important thing for me in the world right now. Simple gestures work magic.
I have a question. What if the guy that in front of you is playing with the phone?
I can't control what other people do. So I'm not trying. But I can tell you like this, it's usually when you do that, people feel they're gonna do the same. Because you can ignore it. So either that or they're gonna say something like, listen, my kid is in the hospital, I need to have my phone available. So they're gonna apologize in advance. But you need to remember, in life, you can't control what people do. I can control only what I do. That's it. Anybody ever been a sales manager here? Okay. When you give people quarterly targets, the quarterly targets is for what? How do you define your quarterly target? They need to
Minimum
do what?
volume
They need to do
goals.
what? What?
Reach their goal.
What is the goal? The goal is what?
It's either income, like a commission income or sales volume.
Okay, so sell volume. Okay. So this is one approach. Can they control how much people buy from them? No.
No.
What can they control?
Their marketing and their ability.
Sorry?
Their marketing and their ability.
Their ability. So you need to think if to give them sales as goal is the right thing. If they don't control it, they can control the marketing. So what should be the goal?
How many calls they make?
How many calls they make? If I know that 30% of calls, if I train my guys properly and whatever it is, there is 30% success, and I want 300 sales a month. I shouldn't say to my team, I want 300 sales a month because they don't control 300 sales. What I should tell them is you need to make 1,000 calls a month because they can control how many phone calls they make. They can control how much the decision people do. It's not fair for them as well. You can't control what people do. You can control only what I do. I can control only what I do. Not even that sometimes, but I can control. So I can put my phone, I can make him put. But usually when you do a gesture like that, people are gonna react to it because they're gonna appreciate it. Okay, Gil?
Yeah, I agree.
A good handshake and a smile gonna make a difference. I come to people, I shake their hand, I smile. Smile is magic. Simple smile, you don't even need a reason. I'm happy to see you. If you want to take it one step further, you can give them a compliment. Wherever, each person, whatever match. So if he shows up with a fancy car, oh, I like your car. If she shows up with the nice shoes, oh, I like your shoes. It doesn't need to be complicated, definitely not rude, but a compliment, but definitely a good handshake and a smile. To that, I want to say something that is very, very, very important. I didn't put it, but I'm going to say it, but I didn't put it. You need to remember something, especially with working with women. If you're a man working with women, when you're approaching, And the women here can be, especially, you need to be, not to be, it's better to approach a woman from the side, not from the front. It's look intimidating. A man, it's a different story. So a man you approach on the front, and a woman not necessarily straightforward. So if you come and you shake like a woman, if you come to a woman to shake like you are approaching a guy, you need to be a little bit more aware of what you're doing. It's look sometimes, so some women, I'm not gonna say all of them, it's look a little bit too aggressive. So it's better not to approach from the front necessarily like a guy, a little bit from the side, and a little bit more soft. It's a recommendation. Okay, I'm sure there is women that are gonna say that it doesn't matter. And I agree with them as well. To them, it doesn't matter. Some does, some not. Most guys, face to face. Okay? Use humor to keep it light. Humor is a very powerful tool. Also need to be used carefully. You want to be funny, but not a clown. Okay? I also can be inappropriate. It can be inappropriate jokes. So be very careful with what type of jokes you are using or telling in front of clients. I'm sure all of you had the chance to sit down with a salesperson that came up with inappropriate jokes and you thought they're, and we saw the commercial for Burger King. Careful with it, okay? Just careful with it, okay? Also, keep in mind that you don't need to make jokes on the spot. You can prepare jokes. You're like a comedian. Comedian, when it comes to a performance, is prepared. There is jokes. He has jokes. He's gonna match the jokes to the situation, maybe, but the jokes are prepared. I once, what?
I mean, I can say personally that for me, humor, just in general, I think the first kind of interaction is more about tone matching, right? If you have someone that's very nervous, very uptight, whatever, so coming with like, you know, humor right up front, that may not go down well. I would say the
Appropriate.
humor is kind of used to bring up the energy, but first you have to match, you have to read the room and see what's happening.
This is why and I agree with you, and I said it needs to be appropriate. If you
Right.
feel that this is not the time for it, obviously you're not going to use it. Okay, I agree with you 100%.
I
But
found
it's
if you're
very,
relaxing,
it's very rarely that there is nothing, even a little slightly humorous, that you can say that gonna lighten the atmosphere. Say yes, Jim. Sorry.
if you're relaxed and confident and treat people appropriately and like you want to be treated, you can usually keep things, you can keep the conversation moving.
I agree with you. There is no, I agree with you. I'm just saying appropriate, but keep in mind that humor is part of communication, and
For sure.
most people like it.
We've laughed together.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But it need to be appropriate, and of course, and I agree with Neta, say it need to be, if you feel that this is not, sometimes it's not, I agree, it's not 100%. Nothing is 100%, but we need to keep it in mind, okay? Obviously, I need to know my stuff and know the details. You need to be a professional. By the end of the day, you need to know your product, you need to know what you're selling, you need to know the details. What happened if they've been able to surprise me and I don't know the detail?
I'll get back to you on that.
Exactly. I don't know. let me check, and I'll get back to you with an answer. And the most
You
important,
get back to them.
to get back with them with an answer, not to say it and don't.
Yeah.
To say it and get back to them with an answer. So I listen to you. We're going back to the phone. I listen to you. Now and also you can appreciate the fact that you find something that you don't know and say, thank you. Now I'm a better salesperson now because I know a new detail that I didn't know and I didn't thought about knowing before I met you. Okay? Mirroring. Okay? Match the speaking tone and speed to your counterpart. I'm talking to people, different people. I'm the professional. I match myself to them, not the opposite. Obviously, if you're talking to a person that tend to speak slowly, and this is how they talk, and they stop to think, if I'm going to talk very, very fast to them, they're not going to understand it. They're not going to feel very comfortable talking to me. On the other side, if I like people talking fast, if the other side got back to me and everything takes forever, I'm going to lose interest in that conversation.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to match the tone and I'm trying to match the speed. And if I want to take it one step forward, I'm going to match their behavior. With that,
Emotion.
it's a little bit tricky. It's a little bit tricky because I can't match it 100%. It's going to look weird. So I want to match it, but not 100%. Okay? Because if everything that they do, I do after them, in some point they're like, this is look ridiculous. Whatever I do, it does. So I want to match it, but not 100%. So if they're sitting relaxed, maybe I'll sit relaxed, but I'm not going to sit with my hand like this. I'm just going to sit relaxed. And if they are sitting forward, maybe I'll sit a little bit more forward and less relaxed, but I'm not going to sit exactly like them or whatever it is. Okay? So with behavior, we need to be, it's visual. We need to be a little bit more careful. We want to match it, but it can't be 100%. Okay? Speaking and talking in tone, that's a little bit more, this is how I talk, so it's different. Okay? Also, we need to remember into talking and matching is I need to match the client in what I say, which means, and this is everybody that did business know that. Some people like details. You need to give them details. Some people don't like details. They want the general idea. You can't go into detail with them. You're going to lose them. I sat down once in a sales pitch with a guy that I told him multiple times, I'm not interested in what you have to say. Show me the numbers. I told him. I didn't even let him guess what I wanted. And you know what his answer was? This is what I told. I must tell you all of this stuff. This is like the worst sell pitch I ever heard. And he brought his manager. And what his manager told me? The same thing. So I'm not interested in hearing it. Give me the numbers. I said, no, I can't give you the numbers yet. I need to tell you all this stuff. You want to guess what happened next?
Bye-bye.
Thank you. I like numbers. People ask me, what do I buy? I tell them I buy Excel sheets. Don't send me pictures. Don't say, the first thing that I want to see is numbers. That's what I'm interested in. Some people don't understand Excel. What is the point of sending it to them? I have people that I tell them, let's go over the numbers. I say, Tal, I'm investing with me. I don't care. Does it make sense to me to keep on sending them numbers? Detailed? No. They don't care about it. Okay, so we need to match also what we're saying to the people. Okay? And use mirroring, behavior, and conversation. We discussed that. That's part of the matching mirroring. Mirroring in conversation also mean, and this require practice, but to the phone is the second magic to phone. You repeat between one of the or three of the last words that they say, or the most important thing. Okay? So if you tell me and I ask you a question, you say da, 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 and say, oh, and you say, yeah, and it was a great trip. Oh, it sounds like a great trip. I listen to you. Just because I said a great trip after you said a great trip, I listen to you. There is a very famous, I don't know if that famous, but there is a famous research that was done with waitress. Who is the one that get the most tips in general? And you know what the answer was? That's ridiculous, but you know who the one that got the most tips? The one that after took the order, stand there for a second and repeat it. You want that, you want that, just make sure. You want that, 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 you want that. Yes, and when. This is the one that get the most tips. Mirroring, whoever read the book, Never Split the Difference, they're mentioning it the same there. Repeating what the other side say, countertop, tell them, I listen to you. It doesn't need to repeat alone. A word, 2 words, 3 words. All it says is, I listen to you. And they appreciate it.
It's already beginning to create the rapport.
Yeah. But even if there is a rapport, when I talk to people and I listen to them, make it an habit to repeat 1 to the last 3 words or the most 3 words in what they just said. Who does it? Everybody knows. Who is the most famous professional do it?
Politicians.
No.
No.
Psychiatrist. What does psychiatrist do?
Therapist.
Oh, it's therapists do? Seems like you had a bad day. I heard you. That's what he did. And then they continue talking.
Creates empathy. It creates a lot of things.
Yeah. And agree. Never tell a client you're wrong. People don't like to hear you're wrong. The only 2 things to say after somebody says something that you don't agree with is you're right, but, or you're right, and. And by the way, is better than but. Even if you don't, in his mind he's right, so he's right. If in his mind he's right, he's right. And if you're gonna say you are wrong, you lost him immediately, or her. You are right, but you are right, and there is another option. The only way to invest is in the conversion. You're right. And in private houses. So he's right, but also there is another option. You're right, but, or you're right, and. Never you're wrong. I always agree. Okay? If I tell you you're wrong, I lost you. The minute I tell you you are wrong, you're lost. No, I'm right. You're wrong. They get defensive. They lock inside. That's the end of it. Am I right? Come on now, we are practicing now. Am I right?
Of course.
You're right. You don't need to say, I agree with you. You're right. You don't need to agree with me. You need to agree with him. Okay. I don't take his position. I'm just not saying his position is wrong. Who knows who Mr. Kenny Brooks is? Nobody knows who Kenny Brooks is. Jim, come on. You don't know who Mr. Kenny Brooks? Okay. So we discussed now all of this, and we're going to look at a video that was made, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 years ago of Mr. Kenny Brooks. And I want you, while you're looking at this guy, see how everything that we discussed come into play. And you see that when you look at him, by the end of the day, if you were there, you would buy a stuff from him, whatever it is that it was. We're going to use how we create a need and offer a solution. We'll see, pay attention to the main three rules. How we create a need and offer a solution. How does he put the product in the end of the client? This guy is a professional. And of course, how we pack all of it very, very nicely, and how he's using humor. Okay? Look at all of these things, and you'll see that by the end of the video, you buy his product from him as well, if you had the chance. Okay? Because you just can't say no. Okay? Give me just a second. Again, this link's right now, for some reason, not going from the presentation. I'm going to pull it straight on YouTube. And you're going to love this guy. This guy is just brilliant. It's a little bit fast and a little bit in English. But if anybody wants, you can Google him later and see it a little bit. And watch it again. It's worth it. Just masterpiece. So Kenny Brooks was a salesperson for cleaning products door to door, and a client filmed him and posted it, and he became a sensation.
Now I know who it is.
But actually, I'm gonna be quick like Nestle and beat it like Michael Jackson. That's why your neighbor said I remind him of Nicolas Cage, because I'm gone in 60 seconds. So watch this right here, Dan. Look, who does this the most on the window? The kids, the dogs, and the ugly black guys that eat fried chicken. Now you see these water spots? Look, they get whiter than my elbows that I lotion. Watch this, Dan, and I'm off yours. Because Stevie Wonder says seeing is believing, and I got a disease called enthusiasm, so I'm gonna cut straight to the mustard. Watch this though. Don't laugh too hard, because the neighbors gonna see this black kid scrubbing your window. Okay? But look, wax on, wax off like Mr. Miyagi. Remember the Karate Kid? Now watch this. The air dry. Look, it puts a coating on your window. No water spots, no fingerprints, no streaks. That's why we can't sell it to criminals. Don't tell OJ or Tiger Woods, okay? I find it. They're loving this stuff. Now, Dad, y'all, you and Mom, y'all would agree. Oh my God. You see this right here? Who did that?
Here is a need.
Who did that? Okay, watch this. Now, my
Here
mom
is a
said,
solution.
"Darker than me and it don't pay the bill, this shouldn't be there, right?" God bless you. Now look, this right here, we just upgraded like Beyonce. This is our new surfactant. Hold this and watch this, because this should be the main reason why you get the HBO special. You know what HBO means? No. You get to help a brother out. Yeah, I've been on the road like toilet paper. Half of your neighbors make me, they say they just don't get it because I'm funny, because this stuff sells itself. Look, you just go back and forth like an argument. Now I ain't teaching, but look how I split that like Moses did the Red Sea. Paint me green, call me a pickle. And look at this right here, look. Goes good with chicken. Don't drink it, though, it'll give you the Hershey squirts. But look, that one bottle lasts longer than my last relationship. Y'all got water, right? Yeah. How far you qualify to use? Oh, yeah, Mom. Now, this is my last demo, and I'm out your hair quicker than your favorite shampoo. Y'all familiar with these right here, Sharpies? Yeah. Now, watch this. Even though I'm black, it ain't black magic. It just works. Because look, say you got this in the clothes or the carpets of the laundry. Would you agree that's hard to get out? Probably. Would you throw it out, shout it out, get OJ to stab it out, Mike Tyson, and
Throw it out.
Kobe Bryant?
Oh, okay. You were done.
It was a multiple choice funny code, because you know you can't put bleach on colors, right? Sure. Look at this. It's safe on colors. That's why we couldn't sell it to Sammy Sosa. But look, if you just spray the spray, right? Now, this right here takes out ink, blood, coffee stains, grass stains, Kool-Aid, lipstick, gum glue, candle wax. Would you say that's whiter than the Colgate Smile? Nah, oh my goodness, you see that?
Can you use it on my teeth?
It ain't Jesus in the bottle. I use mine, they turn brown. No, I'm just kidding. But no, you just use it on for your house. What's the hardest thing to clean? Would it be carpet, the tile, barbecue grills, the shower doors, that oil and rust in the driveway that's blacker than my mother, but not as beautiful, or that calcium right there?
Can I put this on YouTube?
Yes, ma'am.
What are you selling? What is it?
Personality show, but this sells itself though.
Self personality.
Best things is cake and ice cream. Now, unlike Madonna, it's never been touched. So you want to put 2 caps in a bottle, well, I just come, most of your neighbor, they just get it because they like me. Y'all familiar with Tony Robbins?
Yeah.
See, I'm taking this course because this is how Jamie Foxx started off door to door. And he said 2 years of door to door selling is equivalent to 4 years of college communication. How you interact with different people. That's why half of the neighbors don't buy it because of work. They just get it because they like my tenacity, because they fit it in an easy task going door to door.
How much is it?
I'm pretty sure Windex and bleach ain't never knocked on y'all door, made you laugh, or mom went got the camcorder just to take it, right? High five. That's all I'm saying. But what y'all do for a living? Y'all must be in sales too, huh?
Kind of.
I know, because your house bigger than my whole neighborhood. Zig Ziglar said every great salesperson buy from a good one, right? God bless you. But that's why I said, just try the one. You only gotta buy the case today, like now, right? My mom said you can't get the whole chicken, at least get the wing, right? That oatmeal beat no meal. But like I said, you only put 2 caps, 20 ounces of water, so that one bottle make you 68 sprayers. But you should just save my autograph, because by the time you run out, you probably see me on Last Comic Standing, and then you go to eBay and get your money back. Because even Jesus said if you give a person a fish, you can feed them for a day, but if you teach them how to fish, you can feed them for a lifetime, right? Sure. God bless you. But if y'all had it, what would you try it on first? That right there, or the hard water spot, or just as I'm funny?
What? I don't know. How much is it?
With it, one bottle is just 36 a bottle, and you get a spray bottle, it makes you 68 bottle. I just get 50% of that, because if I don't sell that, I don't get none. That's why your neighbor, he said, I'm just gonna get it because you're funny, because the one thing that your neighbors did, look, right here. You know, all of these things, this is another joke though, so take this one. But you know, all of these things right here y'all use, they said this stuff is like a pregnant lady on welfare, it don't work.
Okay.
You get it? Because you know, there's fluoride, simple green, fluoride, common, spick and span, pine salt, y'all probably use a lot of those.
We get the idea, right?
You got a choice to grab a solid dollar or 100 pennies for $6. High five there, so you shop.
We get the idea. So this guy just use every single thing that we see. It's obviously that he knows what he's doing. He knows that he's prepared. He knows his jokes. You see the presentation again? Everybody see the presentation again? Yes, no, no, yes. Okay.
I've seen it.
Yeah. So he knows what he's doing. He knows his jokes. He came up with needs. He found the need on the floor. He offers a solution. And obviously his delivery is nice. He's funny. You feel that you want to do business with this guy. At least I am. Okay. That's a great, great, great demonstration of a sales pitch. From a guy on YouTube. That's amazing, amazing job. And of course, the big secret here is, of course, volume. And I had a slide discussed with Jim about this. I can control the volume. The volume will create sales. Of course, I need to be professional. I need to know what I'm doing. But it doesn't work without. I can know all of this. If I don't have volume on clients, I'm not going to have sales. I need to do it with somebody. So we need to go back to marketing and do it in the volume, to talk to as many people as I can, present it to as many as I can. Usually it says, I don't know if it's true or not, that 30 people are going to like you anyway. 30% going to like you anyway. 30% not going to like you no matter what. So basically what you're working on is the 30% in the middle, or 33% in the middle, that you can swing them one way or another. Okay? So I want the volume. The volume is an important thing of what we do, and we need to keep that in mind. This is why I added it again. Okay, so we did the marketing. We did the sales pitch. What is the next step?
Close.
Closing the deal. Okay. What is closing? What does it mean when I say closing?
Money exchanges hands and you sign the documents.
Exactly. the ability to cause an exchange, money for product or service. So let's say Mr. Kenny Brooks will walk away after his sales pitch. He did the sales pitch, but he didn't close. I need them to pay me money. I need them to buy the product, to invest in me, whatever it is. Okay? We understand the difference between selling and closing?
Mhm.
Okay. And I'm not gonna put you another that, but again, you want another video? Here we go. Jim knows. This is a
One of my
movie that
favorite.
we don't know it. We hardly know it in Israel, but it's an old movie about real estate agent, and there is a very interesting scene over there that discuss the fact that there is a difference between selling and closing.
It's my favorite 8 minutes of cinema.
Yeah, it's a great
Bitching about that sale you shot, some son of a bitch don't wanna buy land.
He is a sales manager in a real estate company that show up to a failing office to help them boost the sales. And while he's talking, one of the agents goes to pour himself some coffee, and he tells them what he think about it.
Let me have your attention for a moment. Cause you're talking about what? You're talking about bitching about that sale you shot, some son of a bitch don't wanna buy land, somebody don't want what you're selling, some broad you're trying to screw, so forth. Let's talk about something important. Are they all here? All but one. Well, I'm going anyway. Let's talk about something important. Put that coffee down. Coffee's for closers only. You think I'm fucking with you? I am not fucking with you. I'm here from downtown. I'm here from Mitch and Murray. And I'm here on a mission of mercy. Your name's Levine? Yeah. You call yourself a salesman, you son of a bitch? I don't gotta listen to this shit. You certainly don't, pal, because the good news is you're fired. The bad news is you've got just 1 week to regain your job, starting with tonight's sit. Oh, have I got your attention now? Good. Because we're adding a little something to this month's sales contest. As you all know, first prize is a Cadillac Eldorado. Anybody want to see second prize? Second prize is a set of steak knives. Third prize is you're fired. You get the picture?
Called Glenn what's the name of it?
Glenn Gary, Glenn Ross.
Yeah, Glenn Ross. Okay, so the point of the me putting it is to make you understand. If you can't close the deal at the end of the day, it doesn't count. You can make as many phone calls as you want. You can make as many sales as you want. By the end of the day, you need to be able to make the sign the paper and pay the money. And showing up is not good enough. It's just not good enough. There is no money in it. Okay? So the closing is a separate part of the marketing. It's what complete this process that start with marketing. I went to sales and now closing. And people don't bother. And I didn't bother for many years to learn about that. But when you learn that closing is a separate part of all of this, and I need to pay attention to how do I do that as well, and that a Torah by itself. it's a skill by itself. You understand that you need to pay attention for it, and you're there, you can go and look for it, coffees for closers. It's different. So how do we close? Again, I'm gonna make it very, very short, but I'll if you like, I can recommend you a very good book at the end that discuss that. How do I close? The first thing that I do is call for action. When I finish a sales pitch, I'm not gonna say, okay, this is that it did. I'm gonna say, next, I'm gonna send you a contract for you to sign. I'm calling them, I'm explaining them in the subconscious, what do I need to be? What will be the next step? You can, by the way, start with it as well. When you start the pitch, you said, listen, I'm going to do this. At the end, we're going to sign a contract. So from the beginning, you're already sending them, I'm not here to play, I'm here to do business. Okay? Call for action. Tell them what you want them to be next. We're going to send it. Whoever ever been here in my presentation to invest, the end of the presentation is, what is the next step? I'll send you operating agreement, you'll sign it, and you send me back the money. I'm already telling you what I want to do. Okay? So that's a call for action. Okay? I got to be proactive. I can't expect them to do something. Most people are lazy. I'm not saying not lazy like lying in bed, but it's my responsibility to make it happen. Okay, not there. I'm the professional. I want this result. I got to. What's going on? Here is that. I will send it to you. Not wait for them to ask for it. I will send it to them. Here is the next step. Here is what we're going to do. Okay, always be proactive. Follow up. After I send it to them, I'll send them an email. Did you receive it? Okay, please let me know if you have any questions. Okay. When can I contact you? Again, you need to be polite. It needs to be done appropriate, not too aggressive to deter them from doing business with you, but follow-up is very, very important. Okay? Be ready for itches. Itches is to itch a car, but it's also baltamim in Hebrew. Okay? So you got to be ready that something's going to go wrong and deal with it. Okay, that's part of the deal. You do not need to be discouraged by it, but to understand that it's part of the process. And if it's part of the process, it's no big deal because it's part. I was expecting it. Okay? And persistent. They told me no. Okay, I'm going to keep on sending them. I'll be in touch. I'll still be polite. I'll still be. One day they're going to turn and come back to me. And I had people that came back to me a year after. They told me no. So you know what? Now I'm ready. So sometimes it's not even you, it's them. Persistent, communication, follow-up, all of this, very, very important. Okay? So that is the idea with the closing. Now, what do I say to close? That's a little bit more complicated. In the next step, which we're going to discuss the books, I'm going to recommend a very good book that give you the closing pitches, and then you're going to be able to help you with that. What next? Keep on learning. Guys, this is a skill that you can see that hopefully I've been able to show you through this presentation that it's a skill that you can learn. I agree when people say, oh, it's a natural. There is always naturals, but it doesn't mean that I can learn this type of skill. There's nothing here that we went through. It's not something that you can learn and practice by itself. Practice is very, very important. So when you do this, okay, let's say I'm preparing a selling speech or I'm preparing a presentation, sit in front of somebody and do it 10, 15 times. Be ready for a conversation. Don't assume that you know how to do it. practice, talk to people, let them try, see what they react better, what not. Practice mirroring conversations, practicing matching your tone, because it's not necessarily something that comes natural to us. It definitely didn't come natural to me, and I had to practice a lot. But practice is a very important tool, and more you practice, easier it's gonna come. And prepare. I'm not going to a meeting or a sell pitch or whatever it is, not knowing what I'm about to say and exactly how I'm gonna say it. Not just what I'm saying, how I'm gonna say it. So preparation for a pitch or a meeting, super important. This is we're about to finish. This is some of the books that are gonna help you a lot if you want to sharpen your tools into sales. This is probably the first book that I read about sales. It was written for network marketing, but I think that you can use the tools there to whatever marketing you or sell that you want. Great book. Great book. I love it. In my office, every new agent that came got a present from me, that book. And it was mandatory for them to read it. So I just bought them a book. Like, okay, we'll talk about it. You have a couple of days. It's a short book, not too long, very easy to read. There is this book in Hebrew. I know for sure that you have it in Hebrew. Worth it, every dime. Second one is Sell or Be Sold, Grant Cardone. Grant Cardone, there is a lot of things to good and bad to say about it. This is a great sales book. If you didn't read Sell and Be Sold or Be Sold, it's a big must. You need to understand that this is Grant Cardone. He liked to write a lot about himself, a lot of stuff that you're like, oh, you get tired. But if you go through the entire book, there is a lot of extremely important knowledge to absorb from it. So it's worth it. So a lot of bullshit together with a lot of amazing materials. So great. And the third one, another one from Grant Cardone, life-changing book for me in regard to closing and what do I say to close deals. Closer Survival Guide. Give you, like, if I remember correctly, 125 closing sentences or pitches that you can use. You don't need to know all of them. You can use which one matches your field. A great book. After we read it, we used to meet and practice on each other closing pitches. So you can take, and I even have today, you know what, I forgot that I have it, but just so you'll see to what level we printed it, all these sell pitches, so we can have it to practice. All of this is different selling pitch. When do I use it? From this book to practice. If anybody wants, I can scan it and send it to you, but only after you read the book. So, but without the book, it doesn't worth it. Okay, to understand the mentality. Okay. So you have that. Thank you to my brother. My brother, actually, the one that prepared it or got it from me. Amazing. You don't think what you understand when you're reading this book is that knowledge in sales and closing of hundreds of salesperson over hundreds of years was funneled into this book. You can't get this knowledge by yourself, never, as a one person. This is an accumulation of knowledge, hundreds of years of practice, seriously. When you read them, you are like, wow, this is a level that I didn't thought that existed. This is Dale Carnegie, one of the sales classics. This is actually not a sales book, is a communication book, how to talk to people. Until today, 100 years, Jim, Dale Carnegie. 100 years, one of
At least 100 years, and it's a mandatory for everybody in sales here.
mandatory. You can't live without or communicate with people without reading. This is classic. This is like, take the most classic book in your field. This is it. You start with this.
I probably read it 4 times since I was 22 years old.
Yeah.
At least.
Basic book for communication. The fact is that it's from one end is basic. On the other end, when you read it, you need pretty much everything that you know about communication with people.
It's perfect.
But exactly. And what I love about it, by the way, and I like the fact to listen to it because my English, of course, it's easier for me to listen. It's written in a language from 100 years ago. So the language is a little bit different. Probably if they wrote it today, it would be written differently, language-wise. But what he wrote, still the same, still accurate, still amazing, eye-opening. If you don't read this book, we can't even have a conversation. It's different. It's a different story. Blue Ocean Strategy is more a marketing book. He's talking about how to find new clients to your business that is not from the existing client pool that is everybody's looking at. How do I open new markets to my product? With some examples that you're all going to know. And when you're going to see it, it's like, oh, wow, I didn't thought about it, but this is actually true. I love this book. I think it's a great book. You should read it. You know this book, Jim?
I do not. I just wrote it down. That's interesting.
I'm going to send you all of this. So you guys, the Blue Ocean Strategy, amazing book. I love it. Crushing It, Gary Vee.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know, Gary Vee is a guy, another big there. This Gary Vee is a guru of self-promoting and marketing. He's a big guy that on social media and using social media. I started using social media because of him. Before I read this book, I didn't have any Facebook. None of you knew me. No Twitter, nothing, ever. I read this book. The same night that I finished this book, I opened accounts for all the social medias. Some of them I dropped since like Snapchat, but the major ones is a guy that is responsible that we're sitting here today, Crushing It, Gary Vee. Again, if you are in marketing and using social media, you got to read this book.
I couldn't agree more.
Jay Bar, Talk Triggers. You know him, Jim?
No.
Okay. Another I actually had a chance to meet Jay Bar and be in one of his you know what? You know what he's talking about. I'll tell you in just a second. You'll know what he's talking about when I'll tell you. This book is a marketing book as well, and it talks about how do I find, or the idea of finding a small gesture that's going to make people talk about you. But it needs to be small that you can do all the time. So, for example, CVS has what? Very long
The receipt.
receipts. Now, the receipt for CVS is a farm. It's like a super farm, okay, that you can go and buy, and no matter what you buy, you're gonna get a receipt that is super long. That's the thing. And if you're gonna Google CVS receipt, it's a joke. People do drafts from it. People make jokes about it. But that was the point, that people are gonna talk about CVS receipts. So they talk about CVS. Another company is, there is a company, hotel company, Triple Tree. Triple Tree, not the name of them?
DoubleTree?
Sorry?
There's a DoubleTree.
Triple, double, whatever.
Yeah.
When you go in that hotel, the first thing, they give you a chocolate cookie.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Everybody talk about the chocolate cookie of DoubleTree. If you've been to DoubleTree, they cooking on the spot when you're coming, and you get a fresh, warm chocolate tree. in everybody, again, it's an American thing, so you guys less familiar with it, but everybody talking about the chocolate farm, and I had the chance to stay at the DoubleTree. My kids every morning, can we go down and get more cookies? Can we go down and make more? It's a delicious cookie. And I don't even like chocolate chip. But that's the thing, everybody talking about DoubleTree and the chocolate that goes together. And when you see the car for the hotel, what there is on it? Not an hotel, no. There is a chocolate cookie. Everybody knows what they're talking about. So they have all this little thing that they do. Five Guys. Five Guys is a burger company that it's like a McDonald's. When you order a burger, you get it in a bag and you order chips, French fries, בעברית the chips. The bag is full of it. You need to find the burger beneath the chips. No matter how much you order, chip, even the small one, you get a bag full of chips, French fries. That's the thing. So everybody is like, so this little thing that you can do that people are going to talk about it, and here we're talking about it. Jay Baer, Talk Triggers, he talk about it. He give more example. If you like marketing, great book about another aspect of marketing. I loved it. There is another book that I think is very, very important, and together with Gary Vee is the one that brought us here. And this book called Never Eat Alone, about marketing. There is Never Eat Alone about getting married. I told once somebody read this book, and he's like, why did you send me to read a marriage book? I said, no. Talk about marketing book, networking, sorry. It's a book about networking that Brian help us with marketing. It's called Never Eat Alone. Definitely worth it. I highly recommend it. But I think if you read the 6 or 7 books, you're gonna go from here we are in marketing and sales to here we are in marketing and sales. You're gonna widen your knowledge, and I'm sure you're gonna pick up some great tips. Definitely much more than this short presentation that we just have. So I highly recommend it. Listen to it, read it. All of them available audio. Highly recommended.
Can I suggest 2 more?
Sure.
One in particular.
Sure. Let me take this off and so yeah, absolutely.
It's just a long time ago, and I've went to a seminar, and there's updated versions of the book, but there's a book called How to Master the Art of Selling by Tom Hopkins.
Okay.
It's when
I'll
I
write
was
it down, and I'm going to write it in the email that I'm going to send. I'm going to send everybody the
It's
how it's
really
called,
good.
How to Master.
How to Master the Art of Selling.
Okay.
It is, when I was early in my sales career, it was a game changer for me.
Okay.
And then I got a new book recently, and it's a very short read called The Go Giver.
Okay.
That everyone will get it and like it.
Okay.
It's
I don't know any of them, but I'm gonna listen to both of them.
they're
And I
great.
finish the one that I'm listening it now. I don't know. That's it. So first of all, thank you for everybody that came here. Hopefully it's been helpful and open your mind and added a little knowledge. But most important, I wanted to make you want to understand it and learn and practice it a little bit more. This is great skill that gonna help you everything that you do. Sales, life, work, marriage, kids, everything. If you take these skills and apply them, works perfectly. Questions? No. Okay. Thank you very much, everybody. I'm going to send you a link to the recording. It's going to be available on YouTube. If you want to send to somebody and you find it interesting, send it to somebody. And until next time, have a great week, everybody.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Tom.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Hey, Gary.
Thank you, Jim. See you later, guys.
See ya.
Bye.